first, pointless and purposeless. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Things are so bad for the Democrats that they're just not showing up for work is considered a victory for them in Texas.
There's folks saying that we walked out. And I think everyone behind me will say, we're standing up. And as Texans would say, we're standing tall.
For the second day in a row, Lone Star Democrats, starring in their own badly produced reality show, broke a quorum, merely delaying the inevitable, which is Republican redistricting. And Jasmine has a warning.
One thing that they should know, when it comes to a black woman and a Latina, that's right, they're about to get a little spice, okay? And that's exactly what they got. So right now we are fighting for our rights in this country. We are fighting for democracy. And I just want y'all to know that I'm standing 10 toes down with my homie.
Did she say with my homie? This is like a bad high school audition, okay? And look, they're playing you. They know and we know this is totally pointless exercise. Texas Republicans will pick up seats in 2026 because that's what the process allows, including in the state where a number of Democrats are now holed up.
I find it really ironic that they went to Illinois, which is the partisan gerrymandering capital of America. And as David pointed out, Democrats have 14 of the 17 seats, even though Republicans got 47% of the House vote in the last election. And anybody can go Google this and look at the map. It's crazy. The Illinois map is bad on its face.
Yeah, it all looks like a bunch of amoebas, right? The hypocrisy meter is in full tilt mode right now, and J.B. Pritzker, he knows it.
It is possible to redistrict. It's not something that I want to do. It's not something that any of us want to have to do. We're hoping that this will be successful, that the fact that there's no quorum in Texas will be successful. But once again, we're fighting for democracy. There are no rules anymore, apparently. And so we're going to have to play by the set of rules that, well, that are being set out in front of us, which, frankly, none of us believes is the right way to operate.
Try to diagram that sentence, okay? Well, look, Democrats have been at this for a while.
If you look at what's going on with the redistricting, or whatever you want to call it, the Democrats have done it long before we started. They've done it all over the place. They did it in New York. They did it in a lot of different states.
Different states? Yeah, again, like in Illinois. Here's what the 15th district of that state looks like. And check out how Maryland's 3rd district looked in the last decade. Oh, you see that little red thing? That should have been blown up there, but it's like an amoeba under a microscope. But Hakeem Jeffries thinks everyone out there is as stupid as he is.
We have to make clear to the people of Texas what's taking place, because it's unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. It's an all-hands-on-deck moment, and all options should be on the table to protect the people of Texas.
Democracy subverters. Well, they know they don't have a legal leg to stand on, so again, they do what they did in the 2016 campaign right up until this last election. If you don't vote for Biden, democracy will die. If you don't support Kamala, there'll never be another election.
We plan to stay as long as it takes. You've just heard that the special session lasts till August 19th. That's the very least time that we expect to be out here. We left fully knowing that we were taking great risks, but it's important to us to save our democracy in our state and also our nation.
Stick with us to save democracy as we subvert democracy by abandoning the state capitol. Now, you know they're desperate when they start dragging out the old party dinosaurs as if they have a shred of credibility left.
If somehow, some way, Republicans are able to hold on to the House in next year, you put in a bunch of partisan hacks who are not supposed to be in the House, and then put at risk the possibility that that body would not certify who the next president was.
So he's already undermining faith in the next presidential election, right? Well, look, Holder and his ilk only defend democracy when democracy results in progressive policies. Otherwise, they're happy to jettison democratic rules and norms to win by any means necessary.
They expect Democrats to kind of be the nice guys that we are. They expect us to take the punch and say thank you. Well, I am here to tell you, not only are we going to punch back, but we're about to beat you down. That's right. Yeah. We are going to win.
war, win. Well, remember when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we're going to go high? Well, I guess that's out the window. Check out what Ms. Jones has to say.
I will liken this to the Holocaust. People are like, well, how did the Holocaust happen? How was somebody in a position to kill all them people? Well, good people remain silent. Or good people didn't realize that what happens to them can very soon happen to me or somebody I love.
Don Lemon's sitting there. I mean, he can't be that stupid, sitting there and allowing that to be said. The Holocaust? I thought words mattered. No. They're happy to throw a match onto kerosene. It's like they're hoping for civil unrest.
I want to encourage California and New York and Maryland and Washington State to say, you know what, our gloves are off. If war is war, and Democrats, if y'all are going to do it in Texas, we're going to do it here, and this is a national war. And Democrats are no longer going to sit by handcuffed. This is an all-out war, and everything is on the table.
An all-out war, everything's on. But no, what's happening in Texas is democracy. And it terrifies Democrats because they're losing ground and they don't know what to do to regain it. Meanwhile, Trump just keeps on chugging.
We have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats. We have a really good governor, and we have good people in Texas. And I won Texas. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, as you probably know. And we are entitled to 5 more seats.
He's right. Voters elected these majorities. Republicans are playing by the rules. The Democrats just don't like the outcome. So they run, they rant, they play the victim. And Texas AG Ken Paxton, he's not playing around.
We got a Supreme Court ruling saying we could arrest these people. So that's an option. Second, we threw out an opinion talking about this quo warranto where we could potentially take some of these people that are out and take them out of office, remove them from office. It's never been tried. We're in the process of working through how that process would work, but we think it's a possibility that some of these members might be removed from office.
And Senator John Cornyn, running against Paxton in the state primary and eager to appear very MAGA, he may ask the FBI for help in getting these state reps back into their seats. Now, I'm not sure how either of those tactics is realistic or wise, but those measures are ramping up what already is a very, very, very controversial situation. But it seems that when the Democrats are digging, just sit back and watch the dirt collapse around them. And in the end, on issue after issue, voters should see that in a party matchup, it's no contest. Republicans govern, Democrats emote and whine. And that's the angle.
Everybody stop what you're doing. There's a man on the top of the White House.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Come down and talk to us.
What are you building?
It's another way to spend my money for the country. Anything I do is financed by me, so you don't have to worry. It's contributed. Just like my salary is contributed, nobody ever mentions that.
He's probably checking to see if there's a sloped roof. You can't be too careful. Builder Trump is the best Trump. He's taking a big, beautiful look at his big, beautiful renovations. And once that big, beautiful ballroom gets erected, he's probably not going to want to leave.
I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, a record that they say won't be beaten unless I run again.
Are you going to run again? The
No,
Constitution
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Probably doing a lot of work there. Before he was on the roof, he called into CNBC and told them to fact check him, and they did.
Here we go. So you did get the highest number of votes in Texas, so that's true. But when you were talking about...
then you don't have to say anything more, Joe.
I got to say this.
No, don't say anything more.
No,
don't qualify it by saying,
no,
I got the highest number of votes
you did.
in the
you
history
did. I'm moving
of
on.
Texas.
I'm moving on.
The media is being whipped into shape, but not the Democrats. Trump says they're a lost cause.
The Democrat Party is self-destructing. I mean, when you have low IQ people like Crockett, I wonder if she's any relationship to the late, great Davy Crockett. She's a very low IQ person. Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding. The Democrats are lost. They have Trump derangement syndrome so bad that they can't walk, they can't talk, they don't know where they're going.
Democrats can't walk or talk, but they think they can throw a punch.
We are not only going to punch you back, but we are going to knock you out.
We are ready to fight fire with fire. No butter knife to the gunfight. We are ready to bring the fire, bring the heat.
This is not the Democratic Party of your grandfather, right? Which would bring a pencil to a knife fight. We're bringing a knife to a knife fight.
This is an all-out war, and everything is on the table.
The fight's in Texas. And Democrats took a private plane to Chicago, checked into the hotel, ordered room service, and FaceTimed CNN from their foxhole 1,000 miles away. Democrats are like a boxer, talked a lot of trash during the weigh-in, and when the bell rings, they just dance around and they never let their hands go. Jazzy, not to be confused with Davy Crockett, says that's called spice.
I am standing here with one of my faves right here, honey.
Yes.
Listen, and guess what? Neither one of us are in Texas. You know why? Because we know that it is time to stand up, rise up, and fight back against these fools that think that we're weak. One thing that they should know, when it comes to a black woman and a Latina,
That's right.
they're about to get a little spice, okay?
Jelly says it's time to fight, and then she left. The real Davy Crockett died fighting for Texas at the Alamo. That's real bravery. The real Davy Crockett gave his life so Jazzy can paint resist on her fingernails, then flee north and hide behind JB back ribs. But after Democrats crossed state lines, they said they're not actually on the run.
You know, the press, y'all been getting something wrong. I've been seeing a lot of headlines that say that these Texas legislators are fleeing. These Texas legislators ain't fleeing. These Texas legislators are fighting. Yeah.
Well, if a man can be a woman, then fleeing is the new fighting. But Texas voters, when they look at these legislators, they see deserters. They want Democrats to fight for them, not for their own political power. You know they're out of ammo when they compare gerrymandering to gas chambers.
People are like, well, how did the Holocaust happen? How was somebody in a position to kill all them people? Well, good people remain silent. Or good people didn't realize that what happens to them can very soon happen to me or somebody I love.
The Democrats have compared a lot of things to the Holocaust, but this is the first time I think they've ever equated redistricting to genocide. Kind of how they think. When you lose your job, learn to code. When they lose their job, it's a human atrocity. These jobs aren't even that important. The Texas legislature only meets once every 2 years. All these people have second jobs. Every day they don't show up to work, Texas is going to slap them with a $500 fine. But Democrats are pulling a Hunter. They say they won't pay.
That is not a law, it's a House rule. And these House rules are written by Republicans and passed by Republicans. They are subservient to state law and the state constitution and the U.S. Constitution. So I think we have a lot to say about what we think of these fines, but nobody's scared.
Texas Democrats say the only way you get them out is in handcuffs.
Tried to arrest you? Would you resist that attempt?
No, if law enforcement arrests me, I will go peacefully.
Democrats are dying to get arrested, trust me, so they can say Abbott's a slave catcher. They're going to poke their head out of the Hyatt, they're going to get arrested, they're going to get flown home, and then the bill's going to get passed. Just so they can tell their base, see, I'm a fighter. I got arrested for Texas. Trump says they can either do it the easy way or the hard way.
I think they've abandoned the state. Nobody's seen anything like it, even though they've done it twice before. And in a certain way, it almost looks like they've abandoned the state. It looks very bad. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Should the FBI get involved? Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to. You can't just sit it out. You have to go back. You have to fight it out. That's what elections are all about.
The media is admitting Trump's right again.
I think it's a bad look for a party that claims to be always trying to protect the democracy is to hole up in a state that gerrymanders, the state of Illinois.
Democrats rigged the game, and now they're whining that Republicans are winning by the very rules they wrote. Just like they're whining about Pam Bondi investigating Comey, Clapper, and Brennan. Sorry, these are the new rules. Not every Democrat's happy about how this is going down. Mayor Johnson says, JB back, don't forget about your boys in Chicago.
As much as I appreciate Illinois helping out people from Texas, the South Side and the West Side could use that same level of energy.
JB Beck's given free hotel rooms to migrants and now flea-bagging Texans. But the guys on the South Side, they can't even get a good rate at the Holiday Inn. Obama's wingman, he's telling Texas Democrats to just hole up in the Windy City forever. And if they don't, Republicans will steal the next election.
If you want to play with fire, and that's what we're doing here, you put in a bunch of partisan hacks who are not supposed to be in the House, who are there because of gerrymandering and a whole range of other things that Republicans are doing, and then put at risk the possibility that that body would not certify who the next president was. That's why this is a national problem.
How dare Mr. Fast and Furious cast doubt on the integrity of an election? That hasn't even happened yet. Kathy Hochul, whose egregious redistricting attempt got slapped down by a state judge, says anything's allowed if you're fighting for democracy.
If we refuse to fight for our democracy, then we're doomed to lose it. We don't want our democracy lost. And that's why I am sick and tired of fighting these battles with my hands tied behind my back.
And nothing says fight for our democracy than another impeachment.
I will not stop, and I promise you, this president is going to He's going to be brought down. Yeah. He's going to be brought down. He has to be brought down. And I don't mean physically. I'm talking about politically. We will bring him down. He will be impeached again.
Every time the ponytail smacks Trump with his cane, the president grows taller.
Donald Trump benefits so much from Trump derangement syndrome, so much. And that's the ultimate irony of the media's Trump derangement syndrome. They're helping the very person they're trying to destroy.
This deranged behavior and ludicrous attacks on the president have turned him into a political giant, walking on the roof of the White House, gazing down at the Democrats who look very small.
Welcome to Hannity, and tonight coming up, a former ABC journalist finally telling the truth about his anti-Trump colleagues at the corrupt legacy media mob, plus a Democratic congresswoman from Illinois just identified herself as a proud Guatemalan while going on a tirade against this country. A congresswoman. Anyway, later. Also, President Trump gave the White House press corps a little show from the roof of the West Wing today. Take a look at this.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there? Taking a little walk. What are you looking at? Talk to us.
He talks to them every second of every day. Anyway, he's not Joe. So what was the president doing on the roof? We'll tell you about that straight ahead. We'll get an update on the Doge employee violently attacked. Let's say at a rather famous name. First, more pointless hysteria from Texas Democrats. They're still, quote, live action role playing as refugees after fleeing their state in a luxurious private jet, just like, you know, the oligarchy tour to Illinois, all in an effort to block a quorum and delay what is inevitable. That is the Texas congressional lines. They will be redrawn as is permitted by state and federal law in 2019. And an opinion by Chief Justice Roberts, political redistricting is beyond the reach of the federal courts. And according to a Texas state directive, quote, there are no constitutional or statutory provisions that address congressional redistricting. The directive continues, quote, the issue may be taken up in a subsequent special session of the legislature. So let me be clear one more time. Congressional lines in Texas, they will be redrawn. The only question tonight is how long state Democrats continue to drag this show out. And now arrest warrants have already been issued for the legislators who are abdicating their duties. Senator Cornyn is asking the FBI to bring these lawmakers back. Now the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, who was on the show last night, asking the state Supreme Court to remove at least one of the Democratic lawmakers from office for, quote, abandoning their position. But regardless of how all this plays out, it is important to take a step back. This is information you will not get from the state-run legacy media mob. Time to remember one very, very important, pertinent fact that they won't tell you. Democrats across the country are up in arms over so-called gerrymandering in the state of Texas. This is the exact same practice not only carried out by Democrats in deep blue states for decades, but it has been mastered by Democrats. Matter of fact, let's look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Let's start with Gavin Newsom's socialist utopia of California. Republicans, they won 39% of the House vote, meaning for Congress, but they only got 17% of the seats. In Connecticut, look at this. Republicans won 40% of the House vote, 0 seats. Illinois, where Texas Democrats are now camping out. They have perhaps the most gerrymandered map in the nation. Take a look at that. In 2024, Republicans, they won a very respectable 47% of the statewide House vote. They only have 18% of the seats. In Maryland, Republicans got 35% of the statewide House vote, but just a single seat. Only one. In Massachusetts, Republicans didn't even field candidates because the gerrymandering there is so extreme that they know they have no chance of winning. Nevada, Republicans won the statewide House vote by a whopping 10 points. They walked away with a single House seat. That's it. In the state of New Jersey, Republicans got 45% of the House vote. They walked away with only 27% of the seats. New Mexico, Republicans, again, 45% statewide House vote. They won 0 seats. In the state of New York, New Yorkers, partisan gerrymandering eliminated 3 GOP seats, leaving Republicans with less than a third of congressional districts, despite winning 42% of the vote. In Oregon, Republicans also won 42% of the statewide House vote. They got 1 seat. That's it. Washington State, despite winning 42% statewide House vote, Republicans walked away with less than half, 20% of the seats. Based on our own analysis, without gerrymandering, Republicans at least would have won 229 seats in Congress in 2024, but ended up with only 2020. And that is a conservative estimate. Now, the Democrats, they're complaining about Texas for doing exactly what they have been doing and engaged in for years. And they're not just complaining per usual. The hysteria is, well, it's through the roof and rather entertaining. One Texas Democrat comparing redistricting in her state to the Holocaust. Okay, take a look.
The problem with black folks after integration is we got comfortable. At least during segregation, we knew that they would lynch us, that they would kill us, that we didn't have civil rights, and that the only people we could depend on was ourselves. And then integration happened and everybody thought they accept us. They don't accept us. They are showing us who they are. We should believe them. And we better have the courage to stand up. Otherwise, we will fall for anything. And in this country, we will be defeated, deported. I mean, we will lose all of our rights. And if you think it can't happen, it can. And I will liken this to the Holocaust. People are like, well, how did the Holocaust happen? How was somebody in a position to kill all them people? Well, good people remain silent.
Now, you shouldn't be shocked. Nazi analogies are the Democrats' new go-to, ready-for-all-occasions smear and slander. But there's more. On X, another Democrat heaping praise on our favorite Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett, for comparing Trump to Hitler because of redistricting in Texas. Take a look.
They understand that we have a Timu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States. We will not allow a bully to punch us in our face and then say thank you and I'm sorry, but instead we are not only going to punch you back, but we are going to knock you out.
Threatening violence from the Peace and Love Party that's against insurrection. Anyway, over in the Senate, another unhinged Democrat said that this was an existential threat to democracy. Well, the only threat that we know about to democracy, that came in the efforts of the deep state to try and prevent Donald Trump from winning 3 presidential elections. Take a look.
The debate now among Democrats is, how do you answer the following question? Is Donald Trump an existential threat to democracy in his second term? Or is Donald Trump's second term, I have a fly on me, is Donald Trump's second term bad, but like his first term, survivable if we just wait it out? right? And I just want you to know from your senator, as someone who sits in that room on your behalf, I am in camp number one. He is an existential threat to democracy.
And I would argue you are unqualified to be in the U.S. Senate. Now, let's not forget about Democrat Al Green. He's now again calling for Donald Trump's impeachment for the 100th time. Oh, we better win the midterms. Big time. Take a look.
There are no circumstances that will prevent me from continuing to challenge the bigotry emanating from the presidency in policy. I will not stop, and I promise you, this president is going to He's going to be brought down. He's going to be brought down. He has to be brought down. And I don't mean physically. I'm talking about politically. We will bring him down. He will be impeached again.
Impeached again. Anyway, last but not least, radical leftist, chief conspiracy theorist over at MSDNC, good old Rachel Maddow, has entered into this fray. According to Maddow, we live in a dictatorship because you elected Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris. Take a look.
We do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country. And it sounds melodramatic to say it, I know. But just go with that for a minute, right?
All right, so when's Maddow, all her friends, and the legacy media mob, when will they correct all of their Russia hoax lies, all the conspiracy theories that they themselves peddled? And by the way, the thing about dictatorships, you're actually not allowed to criticize the dictator. Rachel Maddow probably would know that, but is choosing to lie to her viewers. Rachel Maddow, you know what? Par for the course. Now, Democrats all across the country are right now lying to Americans yet again. They lied about the borders. They lied about Joe's cognitive state. They lie, they lie, they lie. Take a look.
My hope is, and I hear this from everyone everywhere, the Democrats fight back with everything they have. Fight fire with fire.
Only if they move forward to dismantling the protocols that are well established would the state of California move forward in kind, fighting, yes, fire with fire.
Republicans are willing to rewrite these rules to give themselves an advantage, then they're leaving us no choice. We must do the same.
We need to stop him from cheating, from lying, and from stealing the election. And if they're doing something to add their congressional seats, we need to look at our ways of doing that right now.
This is not the Democratic Party of your grandfather, which would bring a pencil to the knife fight. This is a new Democratic Party. We're bringing a knife to a knife fight, and we are going to fight fire with fire.
All right, fight fire with fire, same talking points, all empty threats. You want to know why? The truth is, there is next to nothing Democrats can do to counter Republican redistricting plans because they themselves have already heavily gerrymandered their own deep blue states. Gavin, good luck trying. Fight fire with fire? Actually, it's in reverse. They are pretending to be victims of a game that they have been playing, and it's got to tip their hat. They've been winning this game for years, so they can cry me a river, but they have no one to blame but themselves. These are the rules that they themselves are governing by and that they have written. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.